These are easy camper upgrades you can actually do. And they've won 8 awards. Literally, Leonard's trailer has racked up trophies at small camper rally after rally. And today he's walking us through every one of his clever DIY tweaks. And Leonard's not just some mystery guy online. He's part of a real, welcoming camper community where people come together, share ideas, and genuinely help each other out. That kind of community doesn't just happen. It's something Mandy and Kendrick have really fostered through their new camp rallies. If you want to meet folks like Leonard, I'll drop a link to Mandy and Kendrick's rallies down below.
Hi everyone, I'm Leonard Kyle, Fort Collins, Colorado. I'm here at the Taberado New Camp Rally, wonderful Palisade. I have a 2017 320S and had it about 6 years now, and done a few things to it, so I'm kind of excited to show you all what I've done. So this is a visor that a lot of people commonly have, and the guy line normally goes out there. Actually, originally it went back. I came up with these poles to stiffen it up, and now I have a lot better luck with it staying where they should be. And recently I had a couple of tabs moved in a little bit more, so it just came in a little bit more and just made it a little bit better.
And this eliminated you tripping over these wires too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So less cables, the better, and rather than going straight out. And these here are some long lag bolts that I did, and put some D-rings in it, drilled a hole through it, and then I just use a drill to. This is a pretty hard soil, so this will hold them in, and I've had good luck with those. This is something that I wish I would have invented, but I didn't. I did it from somebody else. It normally has the crank, and my tailgate would always hit here. So I cut it off and got in here, pulled out the pin, shear pin, popped that out, put a bolt in here, cut it off, and now I can just use a drill to raise and lower it. And I also use a drill on my stabilizers for backup in case my drill dies. I had a socket welded onto the existing handle, and that's inside. So if I need something, I could still use it. This was normally an area that was open, somewhere to store the Stinky Slinky, and bought this from Amazon and cut this out and put a nice aluminum hinge on it, pop rivets and a bottom, and now it's all stored in there in a space that just wasn't used. So that worked out well. So I saw a post recently about the breakaway cable, which is usually a long metal thin little wire. It's really long, and if you don't get it held up somehow between here and your vehicle, it can drag and it can break. Well, that's what happened to this person. I've had this on a few years. This is just a kind of a stretchy one that you can change out, get it on Amazon, clips right on, and you're never going to see that thing drag. So nice little feature. Mine didn't have the little compression to hold it open, so I just added one of these and just stuck it through here as I pulled it out. Just use that, and it holds it open so I can access this, and makes it easy. And I just leave it there while I'm camping and pull it out when I'm done. I did buy the Omni King antenna. The height really matters, and if you can get it up in the air, it makes a difference for TV. Again, I don't watch that very often, but it's nice to unwind with it in the evening. And this thing goes up almost 24 feet. And then I added the flags just for kicks, a Colorado flag, and had a new camp flag made, and it's kind of fun. It works pretty well. But again, sometimes I put the Wii Boost up there, and that way I can get a good cell signal as well. Another thing that I did add is a lot of the 320s and the older models, these lugs are a chrome cover, and some of the black ones are as well. This is I got off Amazon, McGuard. They're guaranteed for life. They won't round off. If they get used a lot, you can have some troubles not getting a lug wrench on there, and that's the last thing we want. I did put lockable lug nut, and on the 320s, they put a different size lug on it, so make sure those are the same size. I also locked my spare tire underneath, and I just did a Facebook page about tires, and I mentioned the spare, and somebody chimed in and said, I did get a spare stolen. So yeah,
this guy in Alaska, we got ours stolen off our trailer.
See, there you go. Who would have thought?
I know.
This is kind of controversial to some people, but I found a spare donut tire It's off a Chevy Equinox. And I'm in the process of replacing it. I know some people, after I just got new tires after 5 years, and I'm going to replace this one. But I gained 3 inches and I lost 10 pounds. A lot of people will move their tire up front, but I wanted it kept out of the way. And so I've opted to go this way. I use Goodyear Endurance tires. So they're going to, my plan is to never use this spare.
How about where you mounted this backup camera?
So yeah, a lot of people had trouble. It seems like they have trouble at the license plate because this is all molded plastic and nowhere to really mount it here. And I kind of looked down here, and actually I found some molding that's made for the Keter rail. Actually, somebody gave me that. And I was able to stick the wire in there and run it along that track, and it clipped right in. And I took the wire up to the tail light and wired it to the tail light. So when I turn the tail light on, it powers this, and it's got a little antenna back here, so it's wireless. And then I got the camera on my dash, and I've used it here for the first time and had pretty good luck. So I'm pretty impressed with it. Even though my camper is small, I think it's worthwhile.
Agreed.
You can't plug in a lot into this because it's like a 15 amp circuit. I have a Dometic cooler that draws a fair amount. I also carry a microwave, which I love. I'm one of those guys. You can't pull a lot, and so a lot of people have to run a cord separately over to the pole. And so I took the wiring out, put a 20 amp circuit in, and now I can just plug it straight into here. So that's kind of nice. The Lagoon table, normally put out here, a lot of people complain that it's not waterproof, and it's kind of heavy. So I found a guy who was selling a separate bracket. This was already here, but I bought the whole new deal, and I'm like, I need something lightweight. I need something that's waterproof. And so I found a tabletop ironing board, and now my clothes, amazingly nicely done. I'm the best looking person in Tabarado, I'm just saying.
I love the ingenuity here.
So just maybe a year ago, I literally just bought this on Amazon and kind of decided, I don't know, maybe it's about an 18 or 20 inch. It folds up flat. Being my truck is 4-wheel drive, when I'm offloading stuff, it's just a tall step. So this is just enough to get me up there. And I also ended up finding out it's handy when you want to put your lights up or my antenna. Another one that, like here, I'm going downhill, so I'm quite a ways off of ground, and my wife has short legs, so she appreciates this. But I added this, and I put the little glow-in-the-darks on it, and on the grippers, and they're all adjustable legs. So depending upon the terrain, I'm always changing the height of this thing to, be leveled out with the ground. Also, this normally has holes in it. I added this. This glows in the dark really nice. You can see this. I also did this gripper stuff. We have a little dog, and I heard about stories about dogs walking in or running in and out, and they don't like to see open area. But the biggie is their claws can get ripped out. I've heard stories about that, and I'm like, oh, that's the last thing I want is my pup to have that happen. So I covered over all of those holes. I know you can get the mats, but I thought that's going to hold water, and this is going to rust. So I went this route, and it's been great.
So wait, before I go in, Ice Maker, how long have you been using it?
So a couple of years, and I just saw, I didn't know it existed. I had one that does the cubes, the round things, and every time you drop, you hear a bunch of clunk. And I found one used that was selling it, and they go, it's Sonic Ice. I go, what do you mean Sonic Ice? Well, it's the little stuff. This thing cranks it out. Like you can see it just kind of doing its thing, and it just kind of spills them out, and it's really kept up. So it was a little more expensive, but I tell you, it's been a hit, and people are like, oh, I got to get this one. But
are you able to use it boondocking or only on shore power?
Shore power. Sometimes I'll use a generator, but yes, not too much with this, with boondocking. But and then I found this cover. It's like, the heat is going to melt this stuff, and it's the first time I've used it. It seems to be really well. It doesn't seem to be melting it. So that was just a trick that, that it still gets the air that it needs to. So that just slips on, and works pretty well.
And one more before going in. This string light.
Oh.
Is this a Lucy or who? What is this?
It is. So
it's bigger than the Lucys I'm used to seeing.
So they've only
Look at
had
the size
this
of
out
this
maybe
thing.
less than a year, and it's 44 feet. The old one, it seemed like it'd lose power eventually. I could run this all night. As you know, there's low, medium, and high. This is 40 feet long, 44 feet long, and the color is good. It's not that bright white. You get that nice glow.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend this. I've done V shapes, and I'll just kind of stick it wherever, and it'll light up the whole area really well.
Oh yeah, look at this.
highly
You're turning
recommend
the
it.
corner here. I didn't realize it's going this far.
Another nice thing about this one is it unplugs. I can take this now inside and charge it with my USB, or if I'm in the shade, I can take it over there in the sun and let it charge.
And you still get to keep your lights hung up.
Yep, and the lights are still hung up. So, and you put it in another slot to roll it up. So, it makes it really nice.
And do you find a solar panel on it is enough to keep it charged most of the time?
This thing, I don't know, because it's bigger. It has a bigger battery. I can run it all. I ran it all last night. I should have turned it off, but it ran all night.
Okay.
So this is an RV lock that you can change out your original to. The newer years, the last 3 years or so of New Camp, won't fit the door, but from about 20 backwards, for several years, you could put this in, and it's a key to lock it. You just push the lock button. As soon as you push a button, it lights up. So it's great.
The only thing that bothers me about these is the sound. Is there any way to turn that off?
Yeah, you could totally turn it off if you'd like to. And I think I've had it on 4 years now. I replaced the battery once.
Oh, that's nice.
And I use it all the time. So the battery lasts a long time. So it's good. Normally, you cannot see or be inside this, but because it's Drew, I'm going to let you guys in. So I've done many different things in here. I guess let's start with the biggies. Normally, there's just 3 doors here, and of course, storage back in there. Oh, this is something I did that's kind of fun while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'm that guy that takes the ketchup packets and whatnot. Well, I thought, let's just make a little storage deal, and you got tea, you got peanut butter, peppermint ketchup, honey. It's all right there. So normally these 3 cabinets are just here. This is normally just a long shelf that swings up with this curve back there. And so one day I just thought, a lot of people put a basket or something here, and I thought, I like a cleaner look, just things put away. So I took the cabinet off, I kind of clamped it down here, and I said, I wonder if it would fit. And so I ordered 3 more doors from the factory and made a face frame, and now I can store things in however I want, basically. And I put little magnets here to where it'll hold it, and soft close hinges. And
it's
just
deep
works well.
too. That's quite a deep.
So I've had some people go, well, the heat comes along that slot in the back. How do you get your heat up there? Well, I put a false back that's a real thin Luan, and it comes all the way up with some slats. And if you look here, right here is where the heat comes up through. And I used to get heat down below at my head, and now it flows up and over, and it's much better. So that worked out well. These lights, they normally are in the front. I just ordered 2 more from the factory. I put little bumpers here so I can see where it's at. So, this storage underneath here, now I can see back in there real easy. This is normally one piece on some of the years. They later did a split, and I did it myself. I had this ugly fabric. I even changed that out. But the lighting, it had the bright white. I changed it back to the softer, warmer feel, and so that was nice. This is normally not here, so I took and added strip lighting, and it was a trick getting it from one side to the other, but I put it on both sides, and I used this particular lighting more than anything because it's just softer. And I added a slide here, and so I can dim it and turn it on and off, and so that's the indirect lighting there. And I even put like little glow-in-the-dark stickers, so when you're in here and it's dark, you can find these. A lot of little details like that, if you will. This is the inside antenna for the Wii Boost, so I just stuck it there, and you have to have that distance between the two, and I've had pretty good luck with the Wii Boost. It's a little bit tricky, but it works. These are little storage containers from IKEA. A lot of people get those, and they just slip in. And so normally you roll out slats. Makes into almost a king-size bed. Well, when we first bought our camper, we were in this little rectangle area. We had this big, almost king-size bed, and we're both trying to change to get ready for bed. And I'm like thinking, my mind is always going, but I'm thinking, how do we do this? I'm thinking, I need more floor space. So I instantly started thinking, I need to do a twin bed mod. So I started looking around, and a few people had done them, but I came up with this design here where a lot of people just said, 6 inches is about right. So I made this piece of wood, and it just slips in and comes like this. A lot of twin bed mods, it had stuff that goes down, and I didn't want to hit my feet and that sort of thing. I wanted something that was cleaner. And I just added this little block right here. Okay. So this supports this side of it. Okay. And this supports the outside. So you just have a little triangle piece. I had a filler piece made, and it's got a zipper on it. I had all zippers made on everything, so this is all washable. Makes it nice.
And then you can store your shoes down here.
So yeah, I found these. I'm like, where can I put my shoes out of the way? And so I'm able to put 3 there. Of course, you got all the converter and the outlet here, so I didn't put anything on this side, but gets me three pairs of shoes there. So that worked out really well. As we all know, even when you're boondocking, I boondock a fair amount, there's certain electronics that still is emitting power. This is an inline switch you can get from Amazon. It's just an in and out plug, and I labeled it so I know on and off, and it just goes in line, and when I'm boondocking, I can turn that off, and I have no power going to the TV, so that's kind of nice. A lot of people put a kill switch right here for the radio, but I found a little slot, and I literally stuck it right in this little hole, and so I can kill the radio from there. So again, the phantom power, it loses it. This is something I did. This is a Camco remote control holder. I drilled a hole in the back and got the certain length wires, and now we charge our phones here and stack it in there. The shoilet, right? It's a good term. I like that. Anyway, so mine did not come with a toilet paper holder, so I just did a twine, and when I need to shower or whatever, I can just take it off of there, and it's out of the way. Another thing that I did, and you're going to have to kind of get back in here, but if you're using less water, boondocking, putting less water into the black tank, that's good if you can, still work with it. So I put this inline valve that I can choke it down, so I actually have less water going out of my fresh water and less water going into my black tank. So
what's the bungee in there?
Yeah, so sometimes when I need to just hold it open, I just kind of do that.
There you go.
Depending on if I'm the position or whatever, and this is even better. Watch this over here. So for I'm a guy, but for cleaning purposes and whatnot, let me remove this. These, depending upon your position, will flop down on you. So I did the luggage thing, and I can hold 1, I can hold 2. It just works out pretty well. So, this is a 3-way fridge, and a lot of people have had trouble with cooling with it. There's a fan that's normally against this on this outside wall. I replaced them with really good high quality fans that are low amperage, and they're moving a lot more air. And so it draws the air through better. So if you lose heat, then you're going to cool it more efficiently. And I put this little fan in. This is something you can get, and it keeps that, from freezing up on the coils. I will pre-chill the fridge like 2 or 3 days, turn it on ahead of time. And then what I do is, my wife is diabetic, so I thought, all right, what are these gel packs? So I cut them open and I just filled them up, and I thought they must stay colder longer. So I freeze them, and then I put them in here, and it keeps it cold enough to where I need to get to. And so I still have cold food and whatnot. So I have 2 of those. There's one right here.
And then here I see you have, it looks like a woman's hair tie on the...
Oh yeah. So some people have had issues where this accidentally got turned on, and I do not put the plug in here ever. And this, maybe your pump is on and this somehow got bumped and runs and you overflow it. And so this kind of just helps keep it from accidentally getting turned on. Of course, these, I don't know, maybe you've seen those. Those are a
Yes, we used to have those on one of our old trailers.
It's a trick. You know, we only got so much counter, and you can use this as a drying rack. Actually, you can put hot stuff on it too. So if you just heated something on the stove, you can set it on it, but it gives you a little more counter space or as a drying rack. But, you know, now I got the ironing board, and that makes for a great drying rack too. You know, little camper, little stuff. So I don't carry a lot of spices, but these are Tic Tac containers. And I just labeled them and gets me what I need. So there I got 4 different spices in a very small space. I just love tinkering and doing this stuff. So I don't know, somehow I've won a few mod awards, and I'm pretty honored by that. I'm pretty lucky. But you know, I gotta say, enough is enough, and it's time for somebody else to take over the reins and be that guy as well. But no, I'm pretty thrilled that people have supported me, and I've actually helped other people with their mods, and when people chime in and say, hey, I did this and it's great and it's fantastic, so that warms my heart. So that's what it's all about.
Leonard doesn't just win trailer trophies, he wins over dance floors too. If you need an MC or DJ who can actually get people moving, wedding, rally, company party, Leonard's your guy. He's been helping people make memories since 1975. Link to his site in the description below. And if you're here for Smart Camper mods, I've got a full playlist of DIY upgrades just like Leonard's ready for you to steal. That link's down there as well. And as usual, we'll see you in the next episode.